In the words of Nelson Mandela, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Today, let's delve into an exploration of resilience and overcoming adversity. These two aspects, my friends, are not just words. They are, in fact, the very bedrock upon which the edifice of personal growth and success is built. Resilience, it's an extraordinary quality. It's that inner strength that empowers us to bounce back from setbacks, to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and to continue our journey with renewed vigor. It's about standing tall, not in the absence of adversity, but in spite of it. Resilience is the ability to look adversity in the eye and say, "You cannot defeat me." On the other hand, overcoming adversity is an art. It's about taking the lemons that life throws at you and making the most delicious lemonade. It's about turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones and finding the silver lining in every cloud. Now, why are these aspects crucial to personal growth and success, you ask? Well, life is a roller coaster ride filled with ups and downs. It's not the smooth sailing ship, but the tumultuous waves that bring out the best in a sailor. Similarly, it's through challenges and adversities that we discover our true potential, our hidden strengths, and our capacity for innovation and problem solving. The purpose of this video is not to teach you how to avoid adversity. No. It's to equip you with the mindset and the tools to face it head-on, to overcome it, and to use it as a stepping stone towards greater achievements. So, let's embark on this journey together. A journey towards resilience, towards overcoming adversity, towards personal growth and success. A journey where every setback is a setup for a comeback, where every failure is a stepping stone to success, and where every adversity is a chance to rise stronger and higher. Remember, adversity is not a dead end, but a detour to a better path. Obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. Indeed, obstacles are not just roadblocks that stand in our way, halting our progress. Rather, they are opportunities in disguise, waiting to be discovered. They are the keys that unlock our true potential, the catalysts that propel us towards our goals. But to turn these obstacles into stepping stones, we must first recognize them as such. Picture this. You're journeying through a dense forest, and you come across a massive boulder blocking the trail. Do you turn back or do you find another way around? The choice is always yours. Just as in the forest, in the journey of life too, we often encounter obstacles. They may appear in different forms: a failed project, a rejection, a setback, a personal loss. They may seem insurmountable, intimidating and overwhelming, but remember, these are not dead ends. They are signposts, nudging us to change our course, to explore new avenues, to learn and grow. This shift in perspective, seeing obstacles as opportunities, can dramatically shape our experience. It can empower us to face challenges head-on, to rise above them, to transform them into victories. It's about shedding the fear of failure, embracing the unknown, and stepping out of our comfort zones. It's about acknowledging that every obstacle is a lesson in disguise, a chance to learn, a stepping stone towards success. Imagine if Thomas Edison had given up after his first few failed attempts to invent the light bulb. We may still be living in darkness. But he didn't see those failures as obstacles. He saw them as opportunities to learn, to improve, to innovate. And so he turned his obstacles into one of the greatest inventions of all time. This is the power of recognizing obstacles. They are not setbacks, they are setups for a comeback. They are not stumbling blocks, they are stepping stones. They are not barriers, they are bridges to success. So the next time you face an obstacle, remember, it's not blocking your path, it's directing you to a new one. Overcoming obstacles is not about strength, it's about strategy. Yes, indeed, life can sometimes feel like an intense game of chess, where every move counts and the right strategy can turn the tide. Today we're going to delve into some practical strategies for overcoming obstacles. First off, let's discuss positive thinking. It's not about ignoring the harsh realities or sugarcoating the bitter truths. Rather, it's about focusing on the solutions instead of getting lost in the problems. When faced with an obstacle, it might be easy to think, "I can't do this." But what if instead you thought, "How can I do this?" It's a subtle shift in perspective, but it can make a world of difference. Next, we have the importance of seeking support. No man is an island, as they say, and it's okay to lean on others when the going gets tough. It could be a mentor who guides you, a friend who listens, or even a professional counselor who provides expert advice. Remember, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Now, onto setting achievable goals. When faced with a daunting obstacle, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's where goal setting comes in. Break down the journey into manageable steps. Instead of saying, "I need to write a book," say, "Today I will write 1 page." It's about creating a roadmap, one that leads you to your destination one step at a time. Embracing change is another crucial strategy. Life is in a constant state of flux, and so are we. Sometimes the obstacle is not the situation itself, but our resistance to change. It's about understanding that change is not a threat, but an opportunity to grow and evolve. When we embrace change, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and solutions. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, is the power of perseverance. Persistence, tenacity, grit, call it what you will, but it's that never give up attitude that often makes the difference between success and failure. It's about falling 7 times and standing up 8, knowing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. In conclusion, overcoming obstacles is not just about bulldozing through them, it's about navigating around them, finding the best route and turning the obstacle into an opportunity. It's about harnessing the power of positive thinking, seeking support when needed, setting achievable goals, embracing change, and persevering in the face of adversity. So the next time you find yourself facing a mountain, remember these strategies. Use them as your compass, guiding you through the rough terrains of life. Don't forget, it's not the size of the mountain that matters, but the strength of the climber. And with the right strategy, even the steepest mountain becomes conquerable. Remember, the right strategy can turn the steepest mountain into a stepping stone. Persistence guarantees that results are inevitable. Remember this because it's the cornerstone of our conversation in this segment. It's that unyielding quality, the tenacity to keep going, to keep pushing, that makes persistence such a powerful force. When we talk about persistence, we're not just speaking about a dogged determination, but a dynamic, evolving force that adapts and finds new ways to move forward. It's the bridge between a challenge and its resolution. It's the voice in your head that says, "No matter how tough this gets, I won't back down." Let's take a moment to ponder on the life of Thomas Edison. Edison, the man who invented the electric light bulb, was no stranger to failure. Before he achieved his breakthrough, he endured over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts. But did he surrender? No. He persisted. He once quipped, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the spirit of persistence. Or consider J.K. Rowling, the mastermind behind the Harry Potter series. Rowling was a single mother barely making ends meet when she started writing the series. She faced numerous rejections from publishers, but she didn't let that deter her. She persisted. And now she's one of the most successful authors in the world. These stories aren't unique. The annals of history are filled with tales of individuals who, against all odds, persisted. They faced setbacks, they faced rejections, they faced failures, but they didn't let these obstacles deter them. They kept going, they kept pushing, they persisted. So, what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Persistence is not just about sticking with something, it's about sticking with something, especially when it gets tough. It's about adapting, evolving, finding new ways to move forward. It's about not letting failure or rejection deter you, but using them as stepping stones to success. In the end, the path to success is not always straightforward. It's often filled with twists and turns, ups and downs. But remember, in the face of adversity, persistence is your most powerful weapon. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Welcome to the intriguing realm of failure, my friends. A realm often misunderstood, avoided and feared. But let's shift our perspective. Picture failure not as a monster lurking in the shadows, but as a wise mentor, ready to guide us on our journey to success. Every failure we encounter is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become one step closer to our goals. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. Do you know why? Because failure teaches us what works and what doesn't. It peels back the layers of illusion and reveals the raw truth of our efforts. It's an honest, if somewhat harsh, feedback mechanism. Consider the great inventors and pioneers of our time. Did they stumble upon success on their first attempt? Absolutely not. They failed, not once, not twice, but countless times. Yet, it was these very failures that led them to their groundbreaking discoveries and innovations. They embraced failure, learned from it, and allowed it to guide their way. Now let's take a moment to reflect on our own experiences of failure. Recall the feelings of disappointment, frustration, perhaps even embarrassment. Now, imagine replacing these feelings with curiosity and determination. Imagine viewing each failure as a lesson to be learned, a puzzle to be solved, a stepping stone to be crossed. Yes, failure can be painful. It can bruise our ego and dampen our spirits. But remember, we are not defined by our failures, but by how we react to them. Do we give up and retreat, or do we rise, dust ourselves off and try again? The choice is ours. So, think of failure not as the end, but the beginning of understanding, growth and innovation, the beginning of resilience, persistence and ultimately success. The road to success is paved with failures. They are the milestones marking our progress, the signposts guiding our way. So don't fear failure, instead let it fuel your journey to success. When life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles. This whimsical phrase carries a profound truth. Every challenge we face can be turned into an opportunity. Imagine a dense forest. It's dark, it's daunting, and it's difficult to navigate. But it's also teeming with life, with potential. The same can be said about our challenges. They might seem overwhelming at first, but they are also brimming with possibilities. So how do we turn these challenges into opportunities? The first step is to change our perspective. Instead of viewing a problem as an insurmountable hurdle, see it as a chance to grow, to learn, and to innovate. The caterpillar's greatest challenge is its metamorphosis, but it's through this process that it transforms into a beautiful butterfly. Next, we need to foster resilience. Life is not about avoiding struggles, but about being able to bounce back stronger. Resilience allows us to face our challenges head-on and find the strength to keep going, even when the odds are against us. Thirdly, we must embrace failure. It's through our mistakes that we learn the most valuable lessons. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's just a stepping stone on the path to success. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Lastly, we need to take action. It's one thing to identify opportunities, it's another to seize them. We must be willing to step out of our comfort zones and take risks. Remember, it's only when the tide goes out that you discover who's been swimming naked. In conclusion, the key to turning challenges into opportunities lies in our mindset. We have to be willing to see beyond the immediate hurdles and find the potential that lies within them. We need to adopt a growth mindset, one that sees every setback as a setup for a comeback. Remember, every challenge is a hidden opportunity waiting to be discovered. So the next time life throws you a rainy day, don't just get wet. Play in the puddles. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. In the grand tapestry of life, challenges and obstacles are inevitable threads. They may seem daunting, even insurmountable at times, but remember, they are not in your path to deter you, rather to make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The key is not to avoid these hurdles, but to face them head-on, armed with resilience and persistence. The strategies we've discussed today are not just theories. They are practical tools, forged in the fires of experience, tested and proven through countless trials and tribulations. They're not just for the strong or the brave, but for anyone who dares to dream, who dares to strive for more. Remember, resilience is your shield. It is the power that keeps you standing, even when the winds of adversity try to knock you down. It is the force that propels you forward, even when the road ahead seems steep and treacherous. And what of persistence? It is your sword, cutting through the thickest of obstacles, carving a path towards your goals. It is the relentless spirit that refuses to be quenched, that keeps burning brightly, even in the darkest of times. But perhaps the most important lesson to take away from today is the art of turning challenges into opportunities. It's about looking at every setback, every failure not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone to success. It's about harnessing the power of adversity, turning it into a catalyst for growth and transformation. So as we close this chapter, I urge you to put these strategies into practice. Embrace the power of resilience. Wield the sword of persistence. Turn your challenges into opportunities. Make a conscious decision to start your journey, to take that first step. Remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the lessons you learn, the strength you gain, the person you become in the process. Your journey starts now. Rise, overcome, and turn your obstacles into stepping stones to success.